सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयम् यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविदे नमः। दुष्टं जागरितं विद्यात् स्मृतं स्वप्नं तदेव तु सुषुप्तं तदभावं च स्वमात्मानं परं पदं विद्यात्। दृष्टं दर्शनं बाह्येन्द्रियैः बाह्यार्थोपलम्बनम् darshanam, perception. What is meant by perception is bahyendriyahi bahyarthopalambanam. Upalambanam, knowledge, perception of bahyartha, external objects, bahyendriyahi, by external organs. The perception of external objects by external organs is called waking. Meaning when there is identification of the gross body, and that includes all the gross body, includes all the sense organs, by the way, because they are locuses in the gross body. Tadeva tu drishyasvachaya smrutam. So nidra dashayam, what is nidra? When the identification of the gross body is given up, meaning the identification, the external sense organs, organs of perception, organs of action is given up. Even most of the mind also is sleeping in the dream. So that state is called nidradashaya, samskaravash nidradashaya. The nidradasha, the state of sleep, samskaravasha, the result of samskaras, the impressions of memories gathered from the experience of waking state, swapnam vidyat, know that to be dream. The standard definition of dream that Vedanta gives, karneshu upasamhriteshu jagrat samskaradeh pratyaya. The cognition or the thinking that takes place, the perception that takes place, based on the samskaras gathered in the experience of the waking state, is dream. Vedantins interest in all this stuff is to only recognize the realities. You can write thesis about dream. A lot of work is being done on dream. So our understanding of dream stretches to this point where our intention is to recognize the reality of the state of dream. The reality of state of deep sleep, the reality of state of waking. Because, as Puji Swami used to say, Vedanta inquires into the realities of life, not details of life. The reality of pot, that it is clay. Not who made it, when was it made, etc. Those details, not that they are not parts, or not that they are not important. They are important from some standpoint. But what Vedanta concerns itself with, in that, the fact that the pot is clay is important. Other things may or may not be there. They are incidental. The pot has a certain volume, it has certain weight, certain form, certain color, all incidental. That it is clay is essential. And Vedanta says that's what matters. Not in Vyavahara. In Vyavahara, what matters is volume and whatever it is, in weight, etc. But what matters to us in understanding the pot is that the pot is essentially clay. That is essential nature. Abhadhitam tattva. Because Vedanta explains or describes Satyam, truth, as Abhadhitam, that which cannot be negated, it's infallible, and in our life that is most important, or really important. If you come to recognize what it is that matters to us, you'll find that truth alone matters to us. What is reliable, trustworthy, infallible. When I get that, then other things are incidental. Other things come, well and good. They don't come, then also they're well and good. Because basically I don't need anything. The body needs something that also Ishvara will provide. That's what a wise person is sure. When you are in tune with the environment, it will take care of you. Anyway, by the way, what is said here is that for a Vedantin, what is important is the reality. And to recognize the reality of myself. For that we do this inquiry, what is waking, dream, deep sleep. Swam atmanam parampadam evam dushyatram prasakrutya. This threefold drushya. Drushtam, smrutam, sushuptam, tadabhavam. Threefold drushya. Drushya means the object of perception. What can be objectified? Drushtam, the gross objects. Smrutam, subtle objects. Tadabhavam, absence of both. Dushyatram, prasakritya, recognizing that these three states, waking, dream, deep sleep, are all drushya. Prasakritya, separating them. Tat sakshinam, there is drashta, who is distinct from drushya. Swam atmanam parampadam, swam sarvabhutam, atmanam parampadam vidyat, vidyat has to be added. These three are drushya, and that the self or the I is distinct from them, unconnected to them, unaffected by them. I am simply their witness, illuminator. Swam Sarvabhutam, which fact of illumination, consciousness is the essential nature which cannot be denied. Those things are incidental. The waking, dream, deep sleep are all incidental. The one that illumines them is essential and non-negatable. Swamatmanam param vidyat. Just know the Atma of my true nature is param. What is param? Satya jnana lakshanam brahma ahamasmiti vidyat. Recognize now that witness, distinct from the waking, dream, deep sleep, etc., is Brahman. See that fact. That the consciousness is satyam, abhaditam, jnanam, self-effulgent, anantam, boundless. So thus recognize that you who are a witness, the consciousness also satisfy this criteria of satyam, jnanam, anantam. That means that you are Brahman. So thus recognize that I am Brahman, the self of all, Jagat Karanam, Satyam Jnanam. But this analysis did not take into account ignorance. Even when those three states are not there, ignorance is there. Nanu avasthatraya hetau ajnane sati. Even when I recognize myself as a witness different from these three states, the cause of ignorance still remains to be accounted for. Katham tad viviktataya pratyegatma brahmatmo padyate. So ignorance is not yet accounted for, therefore, how is the pratyegatma is Brahman different from ignorance? Sushuptakyam tamojnanam bijam swapna prabodhayo. Recognize Sushuptam also is tamaha, ajnanam is ignorance, there is blanket of ignorance. What kind of ignorance? That which has potential of projection. If ignorance was merely absence of knowledge, then it would not create anything. Ordinary ignorance doesn't create anything. But I don't know a given thing, that's where it stops. Here is ignorance, I do not know something and I know something wrongly. Therefore, tamaha iti ajnanasya bhavarupatvam. Tamaha is the vikshepa aspect of if avaranam. So ajnana is avaranam, tamaha is vikshepa. Merely absence of knowledge cannot create, merely absence cannot create knowledge. But here, because this is tamaha, this is the vikshepa, the projecting power is involved in that avaranam. The avaranam also involves projecting power. That's why it's called maya. So avaranam can be ajnanam and vikshepa can be called maya. Even though these words are used interchangeably, but ideally maya is a projecting power. So vikshepa is projecting power maya. Tatha bija upapadyate. Therefore, ajnanam can be the cause of creation because ajnana also includes the vikshepa or projecting power. That is how, on account of projecting power, the ajnanam or avaranam becomes the bijam, the cause of the creation. Tadajnanam svatmanah samyak bodhagnana svatmabodha pradagdam syat. Svatmabodha pradagdam. Tadajnanam svatmabodha. Svatmanah bodha, svatmabodha, the knowledge of self. Tadeva agni, so that saeva agni, that bodha itself is fire. the fire of the nature of the Swatmabodha, self-knowledge. Agnina dagdham syat, that ignorance becomes burnt by the fire of the knowledge of the self. Pradagdham syat, so prakarshena dagdham syat, pradagdham. So prakarshena dagdham means without leaving a trace. What is meant is that karyotpadakam na bhavati. That avaranam no more becomes the karyotpadakam, mean that it does not create karyam because its projecting power, that capacity germinate, has been destroyed by roasting the seed, burning the seed. Tatha tattva jnana agnirdam ajnanam. So ignorance born by the fire of self-knowledge or knowledge of tattva. Punaha avastha prarohakaram na bhavati. That ignorance no more becomes capable of germinating into now this deep sleep, waking, etc. It yujjaje pratichaha brahmatvam. So earlier verse said, Atmanam param padam vidyat, no Atma or param Brahma. How do you say that? How do you say Atma is param Brahma? Because the knowledge of Atma burns to ashes ignorance along with its projecting power. And therefore, pratichaha brahmatvam yujyate. It is logical, tenable that Pratyagatma must be Brahman. Because there is no projecting power, there is no creation left. So what is left is Adhishthanam, that is Brahman. What is left is Atma, and what is left is Brahman. As far as Jagat is concerned, when Jagat does not arise, all that remains Adhishthanam. Atma, so Atma is Jagat Adhishthanam. Therefore, it is quite tenable, or logical, or reasonable that Atma must be Brahman. Therefore, the previous verse said, recognize Atma to be Brahman. Now continuing, Ajnanasya avastha bijatvam uktam. He said that ignorance is the bijam, the seed or upadana karanam of avasthatrayam, of the three states, waking, dream and deep sleep. Upadayan, how is it so? This verse now provides the reasoning, logic or reasoning as to how this ajnanam is the cause of the three states. How ajnanam undergoes transformations to become the three states. That's called upadana karana. Upadana karana, material cause, itself undergoes transformation to become effect. Clay is the material cause, itself undergoes transformation to become different states of pot. Pot may go through different stages before the final is created. But clay undergoes each stage. So also ajnanam undergoes each stage. Deep sleep, dream, waking. Upapadayan, that's what is explained with reasoning. Ajnana nivritya eva sarva samsara upadi nivritti. Therefore, since ajnanam alone is all the three states, ajnanam alone is creation, and ajnanam alone creates the identification of the nature of the vikshepa, identification. Vikshepa creates the three states in the world, and it creates identification, that is also vikshepa. Therefore, all of these being the product of ignorance, when ignorance goes in the wake of knowledge, whole samsara goes. Samsara upadi nivritti. The samsara nivritti takes place because the whole samsara in every way is product of ignorance. The entire pot in all the stages is product of clay. or the entire cloth at all the stages of product of the cotton. If the cotton is burned, the cloth is burned. So entire samsara in all the stages is the product of ajnana of ignorance. Therefore, ignorance goes, whole samsara goes. So ajnana nivrityaya sarva samsara upadi nivrittehi. No yattanta sadhyayati. Therefore, the sarva samsara nivritti, the elimination, cessation of the entire samsara, all that it requires is the elimination of ignorance. No other yatna is required. Darkness merely requires the light, no other effort is required. So also cessation of ignorance merely requires the knowledge, nothing else is required. Tadevaikam tridha jneyam maya bijam punah kramad maya vyatma vikaropi बहुधैको जलार्कवत् तदेव एकं त्रिधा ज्ञेयं मायाबीजं तदेव एकं मायाबीजं त्रिधा ज्ञेयं. That one Maya-bijam, one cause, a seed, material cause called Maya is Tridhagnayam. That cause, bijam, material cause alone is to be known in threefold way, three states. Kramat, those three states take place in sequence, in an orderly manner. Sushupti, Swapna, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, etc. So this is how the Ajnana avasthatra bijatvam. Ajnana is the bijam or cause of the avasthatra, is explained in the first line. Then Ajnana nivritti, how does that take place? Mayavi Atma. With Atma, Mayavi. Maya asya asti iti Mayavi Jadugara. Means the magician. Understand, magician is totally different from the magic. So Mayavi is totally distinct from Maya. That the magician exists independent of the magic. So Mayavi exists independent of Maya. There is no trace of Maya in Mayavi. So knowing Mayavi, the whole Maya is gone. Mayavi Atma. So when you know the Atma, the whole Maya is gone, even though you call it Mayavi. One possessed of Maya. But that Mayavi is what? Avikara. Himself has no trace, meaning that Maya is superimposed upon Mayavi, not possessed in the primary sense. That Dhanvan is possessed of Dhanam. And Dhanam and Dhanvan enjoy the same degree of reality. That's not the case here. Even though Maya sastiti Mayavi, so it may be said grammatically. But the Maya and Mayavi do not enjoy the same degree of reality. Maya is a Paramadika Satta and Maya is Vyavaharika Satta. Therefore, Maya can be completely negated, leaving Maya intact. Mayavi Atma Avikaropi. Atma is Mayavi, Avikara, Nirvikara, changeless. Meaning that there is nothing in Atma that would make Atma undergo change. There is something in milk which will cause it to transform into a curd. There is nothing in the stone, that will cause it to transform in any way. So there is something in Maya that will cause it to transform into different states. There is nothing in Mayavi that will cause it to transform. And still the Mayavi, the Atma also appears various ways. The Maya undergoes transformation of the Sushupti, Swapna, Jagrat. The deep sleep, the dream, the waking, the Maya undergoes these transformations. The Mayavi also appears to undergo transformations because Mayavi gets reflected in Maya or identified with Maya. Therefore, instead of Sushupti, the Mayavi appears as Prajna at the Vyashti individual level and Ishvara Samashti at the cosmic level. Maya has the individual and cosmic levels. So Mayavi also appears as the Prajna and Ishvara. Again that Maya undergoes transformation of Swapna, Vyashti and Samashti Swapna. Therefore, by default Atma gets reflected. Atma appears as the Tejasa and Hiranyagarbha. Again that Maya undergoes transformation called the Jagrat, the individual Jagrat, cosmic Jagwaking. Mayavi reflected is called Vishwa, Vaishvanara. So Maya undergoes transformation. Mayavi does not undergo transformation, but still, Maya's nature is to reflect the consciousness. So what undergoes transformation is the reflected Mayavi, reflected Atma, reflected consciousness, Chidabhasa, is that which undergoes transformation or appears to undergo transformation. As the reflecting medium changes, the reflection appears to change also. The wash basin, when the water is moving, the face, reflected face also appears to be moving. Bahuda eko jalar kavata. So somebody may say Atma also undergoes change. He becomes waker, becomes dreamer, they can see deep sleeper. I said, no, that change is like the sun appearing in water. As the water changes, the reflection appears to change, but then the image which is sun, there is no difference, no change at all. So that the changes, transformations taking place upadhi are real. By default, Atma becomes reflected in them, identified with them, whichever way you want to say. Therefore, Atma appears to changes in Atma are apparent changes. That is important. The Atma also appears a waker now, dreamer later, deep sleeper later, Sukhi Dukhi, all of these states are going on. All those transformations belong to Maya or Upadhi. And Atma appears Sukhi Dukhi. Sukha is Maya or mind, Atma is Sukhi. That is because of the identification of the Atma with Sukham. Atma does not become Sukhi, he appears as Sukhi. Sukham is the state of mind. Sukhi is the appearance. When taken real, then I think that I am a samsari. To recognize that Sukham is there, transformation of Maya. Sukhi is an appearance of Atma. Therefore, Sukhi is not the nature of the self, is an appearance of self because of the Maya which takes the form of Sukham. So this is how Atma Jnanam can take, how the Viveka discrimination takes place. The Sukhi also discrimination that Sukham belongs to the mind of the Maya, Upadhi, and Sukhi is the result of the identification. There is no entity called Sukhi. Sun is there, reflecting water is there. There is no entity called reflection really. Just an appearance. So Sukham is there as a state of mind. Atma is there, the very image. Sukhi is an appearance, not a reality. There is also waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, all of these are appearances, not realities. And that is how one is recognized. In spite of appearing to be Vaikar, I am non-Vaikar, I am Turiya, if you want to use the word. All upadhis, so they are all costumes. I am the unaffected by costumes. So that's how Viveka is being explained here or described here. So Tikakar gives a long Tika, but anyway. So Tadevaikam Maya this is a Prakrana Grantha. So Prakriya, this is called Prakriya. Models to help us explain the realities. So now Avasthatra Prakriya is there, therefore is being explained in detail. Tadekam Mayakhyam be Tadevaikam Maya Bijam means Mayakhyam Bijam. Maya Bijam, Bijam called Maya. Maya alone is called Bijam. Tida Bhinnam. Tida Bhinnam divided threefold, three ways it is divided. Krama, the division takes place in sequence, in order. Sushuptyadi Kramena, so Kramat Maya Bijam, Punah Kramat. That Maya Bijam means Maya which is Bijam. Trida Bindam gets transformed threefold ways in order. Sushuptyadi Kramena, first Sushupti, then Swapna, then Jagrat. Punah means so, iti atra vipsa punah punah again and again. So this is constantly going on. Maya again and again gets transformed. Sushupti, Swapna, Jagrat, Sushupti, Swapna, Jagrat. Endlessly. Sushuptim arabhya Jagata Paryantam. Sushuptim arabhya, beginning with Sushupti. Jagata Paryantam, ending in Jagrata, in between there is Swapna. Tadarabhya, Jagratam Arabhya, Sushupti Paryantam, then beginning from waking, then dream, then deep sleep. This is for analysis. Over Swami, I wake up from deep, is possible. That he may straight away go to sleep without dream. We don't know. So those things are so subtle, we may not notice them. So you can say that there is waking state, half waking and full sleeping, half sleep and full total sleep, or waking, half waking, total waking makes sense. Tridha vikriyate, that's how the Maya, the Bijam nature of Maya, vikriyate, undergoes transformation in these threefold ways. So Tikakara thinks that this needs to be explained further. Etaduktam bhavati. It's all Vedantic Prakriya being explained. Chinmatra, Ashraya, Vishayam, Ekamevam, Ajnanam. Again, this is standard definition of ignorance. Chinmatra, Ashraya. The question is, what is the locus of ignorance? Somebody says ignorance is in mind, which may be true. It's for practical purpose, but mind itself is product of ignorance. Therefore, by process of elimination, we say that the ignorance has its locus in Atma or Chinmatra. How can Chinmatra be locus? By only superimposition, meaning the Chinmatra is Adhishthanam and the Ajnanam or Maya is Adhyaropa. So that way it is the locus by being Adhishthanam, not locus in a primary sense. So therefore, ignorance samays ashraya, locus in Chaitanya, and it weighs Chaitanya itself. Who is ignorant? Chaitanya is ignorant. And then he takes himself to be Atma, Jivatma, etc. So it is Chinmatra. That this ignorance which derives its existence from Atma weighs the very Atma and creates all these superimpositions and notions. Brahma. Chinmatra Ashaya Vishayam. Chinmatra Ashayam. Chinmatra Vishayam. Chit is the ashaya, the locus of ignorance, and it is the very object of ignorance. Like a cloud which originates from sun and veils the very sun. Ekameva jnanam, there is one jnanam, anadi, anirvachaniyam, beginningless, cannot be defined as sat or asat, anirvachaniyam, satasadvyam, anirvachaniyam, cannot be called it is because then it can't be dispelled, can't say it is not because then it would not have been experienced. Anikare vikshepa samskaropedam. That avaran, that is avaranam, there is the potential of vikshepa. It's an ongoing process. That's why it says, krapgunah kramat. In this cycle now, there is all the samskaras, all the past cycles also. So, aneka karya vikshepa samskaropedam. This samskara, sushupti, swapna, jagrat, and all the vishayas and all those things are there potentially in the Maya Khabija. Chaitanya abhasa khachide swashre. Now it is inert and therefore requires the abhasa. Chaitanya has to, it's being enlivened by Chaitanya. This Maya by itself is insentient. Cannot do anything. But it gains the capacity to do this by being, enlivened by chit or consciousness. That enlivening explains that Chaitanya gets reflected in Maya. Just as when the sun gets reflected in bucket water, that water becomes lighted up, and water gains the ability to light up the dark area. So also this Maya, which itself is insentient, becomes as though sentient, enlivened by reflection, association, identification of consciousness. However you want to explain. There is no contact between them. Adhisthana Adhyana, still this becomes enlivened and capable of doing what it does. Because Vedantin wants to explain everything by Maya and still wants to make sure that Chaitanya remains, unaffected by them. So that is why this model. Swasre, Atmani. So because now Atma is the locus and the Vishaya also. So this ignorance that derives its existence and, the enlivening from Atma creates that, the projection of an Atma itself. Swashre, Atmani, Adhyatma, Adhidevata Bhedena, Adhyatma, Vyashti, Adhidevata, Samashti Bhedena. Prajna, Ishvara, Upadi, Vishishta, Sushupti, Pralayavasthakaram, Jayate. So this is Ajnanam is a Kartru here. Ajnanam, the Adhyatma Adhidevata Bhedena, by the Bheda of the Vyashti and Samashti. Prajna Ishvara, Vyashti, Prajna, Samashti Ishvara, Upadi Vishishta, Sushupti Pralaya Avasthakaram Jayate. Vyashti level, Sushupti. Samashti level, Pralaya. Reflected consciousness, Vyashti level, Prajna. Samashti level, Ishvara. So that's how the prakriya. Tatha, then similarly, Taijasa, Hiranyagarbha, then again when you take the Sukshma Sharira, then the Vyashti Sukshma Sharira, in that is called the Swapnavastha, and the Chaitanya is called Taijasa. Then Samashti Sukshma is called Hiranyagarbha, and reflect the consciousness of Hiranyagarbha. The Samashti Sukshma Shariram, the Chaitanya is called Hiranyagarbha. Taijasa, Hiranyagarbha Upadi, Sambhinna. स्वप्न सृष्टि अवस्थापद्यते न सवस्थात्मकं भवति स्वप्न सृष्टि अवस्था. So therefore स्वप्न सृष्टि व्यष्टि स्वप्न समष्टि स्वप्न तेजस and हिरण्यगर्भ. तथा पुनः further in sequence or succession विश्व वैश्वानर समष्टि स्थूल शरीर उपाधि विराट or and then samasti सूक्ष्म शरीर समष्टि व्यष्टि and समष्टि individual upadhi cosmic upadhi reflected consciousness vishwa vaishvanara. So individual gross body, total gross body. So with individual is vishwa, with total vaishvanara. Upadhi khachita jagra sthiti avastha rupam apadyate. Attain the state, the same maya attain the state of the waking, individual waking, cosmic waking. The Chaitanya by default appears to be the waker and the cosmic waker, individual waker, cosmic waker, the Vishwa and Vaishvanara. So not that Chaitanya becomes Vishwa Vaishvanara. Maya becomes the Vyashti Susharira Samashti Susharira. Maya becomes the Vyashti Sukshma Sharira Samashti Sukshma Sharira. Maya becomes the Vyashti Karana Shariram Samashti Karana Shariram. The krama is reversed. And by default Chaitanya appears to be the Prajna and Ishvara, Tejasa Hiranyagarbha and Vishwa Vaishvanara. Chaitanya appearing this way. If he appears taken to be real, then I think of real Vishwa, that is called ignorance. Tatrapi Devatiryang Manusya Sthavaradi Vedana. There also, in the waking, in the dream, Deva, the gods, Tiryak, the animals, Manusya, the humans, Sthavara, the immovable, like trees, etc. Vedana, Nana with Sharira. Different, so Sthul Sharira also are many kind, Countless Sthul Sharira are there, classified as Deva, Tiryaka, Manusya, Sthavara. Nana Vida Indriyantah Karanopadhi Akaram. Each Sharira contains also the Antahkaranam, corresponding Antahkaranam. All Indriyas are there, in every Sharira Indriyas are there, Antahkaranam is there. And therefore, identifying with this, then Atma now not only a waker, but a waker human, a waker animal, a waker tree, you follow? A dreamer human, a dreamer animal, a dreamer tree, I guess, So same Atma, as the gross body undergoes all these transformations, countless, so also Atma reflected in them also appears to undergo all these countless transformations. Pratyek Brahma Chidatmani Ananta Jiva Bheda Vyavahara Nirvahakam Bhavati. This ignorance, by transforming itself into various upadhis, the samashti Karanopadhi, Vyashti Karanopadhi, samashti Sukshma Upadhi, Vyashti Sukshma Upadhi, samashti Sthula Upadhi, Vyashti Sthula Upadhi. In there again, Deva, Tiryang, Manusya, Sthavara, the Bhedena. These countless upadhis are there. So Sthula upadhis are further divided into these countless upadhis like Deva, Tiryang, etc. And by default, the consciousness reflects. And then each one of them is Antahkaran. The Sukshma Sharira also gets divided. So you call Devata a certain upadhi, and associated with that is the Antahkaran Sukshma Sharira. And then also Atma reflected in them called Devata. That's how the whole Vyavastha is explained. That's one ignorance, or Mayakhyam Bijam. Pratyek Brahma Chidatmani. What is Adhishtanam? Pratyek Brahma Chidatma. Ananta Jiva Veda Vyavahara Nirvahakam, countless jivas are as though created, and all the Vyavahara goes on. Because each jiva has its body, each jiva has its mind, each jiva has its nature, each jiva has its needs, requirements, and the whole complex universe is there. All interacting, interdependent, interacting. Amazing. And if you don't interfere with that, it will just go on in a balanced way. One Maya does all this. So we call it Devi because look at what all the capacities are there. And Maya means the consciousness must be there. So Devi means Maya, predominance of Maya with consciousness. And Deva means consciousness predominant with Maya. So we are only worshipping Saguna Brahma in one way or the other. Anda Jiva Veda Vyavahara Nirvahakam Bhavati. That's how the Vyavahara, the whole universe Vyavahara is explained. How Maya undergoes transformation in different stages, and how Chaitanya or Atma reflected in them, identified with them, also appears to undergo all the different transformations. Now Tikakara gives his own explanation. Ratha ekam vatadi bijam. That's just one little seed, an atomic seed of a banyan tree. Mrudashritam sada, banyan tree itself cannot sprout. Mrudashritam must be ashraya of clay. Tasyam eva mrudi ankura kanda vitapa shakha patra pushpa phaladivam apadyate. That one seed undergoes all these stages of transformation. It becomes a sprout, it becomes seed, becomes sprout, becomes stem, becomes branches, becomes leaves, becomes flowers, becomes fruits, and again seed. So one seed has transformation, all the different states. Now that we know, that is why the example is given. How bijam or the seed, we see it. The transformation is evident to us. Puna bijam apadyate, again from fruit, again it becomes seed, and again all this thing goes on, endless process. Pravaha nityatvam. It is as though eternal, eternally flowing. If you are caught, therefore, there is no respite. If you are caught, seed will become sprout, will become stem, will become and seed, and then goes on. Tatha idamapi drashtavyam, so also the seed called Maya becomes sushupti, then becomes swapna, then becomes the waking, then becomes all these Maya, tiryak, etc. And again merges back into Maya, again it arises. So the whole tree merges into seed, and again the process starts. Here also pralaya. So daily pralaya of sushupti, etc. goes on. Avantar pralaya, Brahma goes on, and the prakriti laya, prakriti laya goes on. It is drashtavyam punah kramat. Thus, again and again and again, this whole flow goes on. See, this is Vedantin's way of understanding the creation. So these models are adopted for us with a certain purpose. It's an agenda. The reason why Vedanta adopts certain prakriyas, if it happens to be scientific, well and good, but that is not our purpose. Our purpose is to understand the reality of how mithya is all, projecting in this way, to recognize the whole thing is mithya. It also describes the succession in a sequential manner, so somebody may think scientific, which may be. But in case you find some difference in scientific sequence and this, doesn't matter to us. Tadeva Vakshakaram Vastu Muladahe Sati. That whole tree of samsara, Vrikshakaram, Muladahe Sati, when the Moolam, the root, is burnt, Tatra Mrudbhavam Apadyate, then becomes Mrut or clay again. So clay is the Adhishthanam here. And that Bijam is the Maya. With clay Adhishthanam, the Maya undergoes all transformation. Therefore, clay also appears to be undergoing transformation. When the root of that tree is burned, then it turns to its original state of being clay. Punanna bhavati, because the seed is gone, therefore that clay now does not get transformed as sprout, etc. anymore. That clay got transformed as sprout and so forth because of the presence of the seed. When the seed is not there, root is not there, that clay remains clay. It is liberated from this forced transformation. Tatha samsar vakshamula ajnanasya. So samsar vakshamulam, call it bijam. Ajnanam, ajnanasya, ajnanam, ignorance, which is similarly the moolam, the root, or the seed of the vriksha of samsara. So vriksha was described. Tattvajnana ajnana dahe sati. When that root or the seed is burned by the fire of knowledge, swashra chidegatmana vininatvat, it gets to its own original state of Chidatma. How that clay which transformed into things again becomes clay when the seed is burnt. So also the whole samsara, the seed is Maya. When that is burned, then Chidatma becomes Chidatma. It was Chidatma. Tattvajnana dahet swasya chidekatmana vilinatvat. Chidatma is swasya ashraya. And therefore, the whole samsara now reduces to Chidatma, because what made it possible for samsara to expand in this manner was Maya. The root, that seed. When that is burned, then now there is nothing to create all these appearance. So it all dissolves into its original state, which is Chidatma. Therefore, punah na darsana yogya bhavati samsara. The tree is not seen again. So also the samsara is no more seen, because samsara has no capacity to appear when the seed is gone. Na darsana yogya bhavati dushtam jagritam vidva. That is no more there now. Iti ajnana daha eva tattvajnana yatitavyam. Therefore, we have to make an effort merely to destroy the cause, which is ajnanam. And all this will go away. Don't individually work with, don't try to do things with, it's countless appearances here. Just work with the basic seed, the cause. Then the effect goes away. And therefore, effort must be made in eliminating cause, which is the seed of the nature of ajnana or maya. Yatitavyam, that's why the effort should be made. Not dealing separately with the fruits and the leaves and flowers and this, deal with the seed. Now, tadeva ekam tridhajneyam, that's what he said in the first line, iti ukte. Tomavi satandana pravritti shanka syat. Looks like that this bija is independent and it does all of this, Poor Chaitanya is just, that is why Sankhya say Chaitanya is just a drashta, bhokta, cannot do anything. That thing does everything. Looks like it. Looks like that Mayakya, Bijam alone does everything, and poor Chaitanya has no choice but to get reflected and appear like this. Tamavi swatantrena pravritti shanka syat. It appears like this Bijam called Maya independently gets transformed into all these states and creates an appearance of this various states in Atma. Tatha sati Sankhya Siddhant apat. This is how Sankhya described that Atma is, has no choice. Whatever Prakriti does, Atma has to, undergo. So, Sankhya apatah, Siddhanta apatah. Then we arrive at Sankhya Siddhanta. That's not so. Iti ityatah tamasa apekshitam asam. That tama is not independent. Sankhya's Prakriti is independent. That's how they think. Vedanta says Prakriti or Maya or Tamaha, this seed is not independent. Apekshitam ashrayam darshayati. It is an ashraya. So it is not independent, thereby it must have some ashraya, some basis. A dependent thing always depends upon or is centered upon independent thing. The motion must have its basis on motionless. So also the dependent must have a basis in independent. So the seed is dependent, therefore there is an expectation of what is independent. Therefore, apekshita maya ashraya. What is the maya ashraya? When maya is there, dependent reality is there, there is an apeksha, expectancy of what is independent. It says mayavi, second line is mayavi, atma, avikaropi. So that ashraya or adhisthana is atma. Apnodi the atma. That which pervades is called atma. Apnodi vyasa nirupacharita vyaptiman. That which pervades is called atma. How much does it pervade? Unconditional pervasiveness. So when Brahman is big, how big? Unconditionally big. So Atma is that which pervades. How much it pervades? Unconditionally, that which is of the nature of unconditional pervasiveness is Atma. So Prakasha Chidekarasaha, which is self-effulgent of the nature of consciousness, Ekarasa, homogeneous consciousness, admitting of nothing else, no ignorance, is Mayavi. So Mayavi doesn't have a trace of Maya, therefore it says that Swaprakasha Chidekarasa. The Atma is called Mayavi, magician. But what kind of magician? Who is totally independent of magic. As we said earlier, the relationship between the magic and magician here is of the Adhyaropa Adhisthana. So Atma is called Mayavi, magician, by virtue of Atma being the Adhisthana of Maya. Not Atma possesses Maya, even though Mayavi. Maya asyasthiti Mayavi, in pratyaya is there, but not in primary sense. Here possessiveness is by way of Adhisthana. Maya adi shabdavacha jnanashraya is called Maya, Ajnanam, Avyakritam, Avyaktam. Prakriti, various words are used for the primordial cause. Sometimes Maya, sometimes Ajnanam, sometimes Prakriti, sometimes Avyakritam, etc. Maya adi shabdavacha ajnana ashraya. Whatever word is used, it amounts to the same upadhi which is located by way of the adhishthanam of Atma. Maya ashraya state Atma. Now you are saying Atma is ashraya of Maya because Maya is dependent. Tahi tasya Maya vikshipta ananda upadishu anekada vikshipyamanasya katham kutastatvam. Now you must understand that ashraya is adhishthanam. Otherwise, whatever changes take place, ashrita will also affect the ashraya. If ashraya and ashrita, they enjoy the same degree of reality. Like Tulsidasi describes, when this Vanara Sena, we started, And the whole world started shaking, and that is how the Sheshanaga, on that also all kinds of, all kinds of impacts were there. If Sheshanaga is really sustaining this, supporting this, then what happens to Prithvi will happen to that also. Because the way the Vanaras and the walking and jumping and up and down and so much enthusiastic, energetic, and the bears also. So if Atma was that kind of ashaya, then whatever Maya does will affect Atma. He says no. So if Maya, normally what we understand by ashaya is the support. And our user experience is that, suppose you feel some in a vessel, you feel something. You find that in the vessel also that something, whatever the substance is, after a while affects the surface of that vessel. Some kind of reaction may take place, and therefore, if ashraya, ashrita bhava is real, then ashrita will be influenced by, affected by ashraya. If similarly also Atma was ashraya, the support in a primary sense, it will be affected by all these things about Maya. How do you say Atma is kutastha or changeless? So what's the nature of ashraya? Adhishthanam, that's what needs to be explained. Iti asange drishtantena pratyachaste. This is refuted or replied by drishtanta. Abhikaropi, Maya is abhikara. It's changeless and still appears to be changing. Bahuda eko jalarkavata. Eko bahuda, ekah abhikaropi jalarkavat bahuda bhati. That's all you can say. Eka eva atma, so ekah goes with atma. And also with arka means sun. Svagata avikara means svagata vikara hitopi. There is no potential of vikara or change or transformation in Atma which is there in Maya. So Maya may look all nice, in tamas, in pralaya, but all potential is there. So, but then when Lord Vishnu is sleeping, in Vishnu there is nothing. What is in the lotus? All potential is there. Ekavaya Atma Swagat avikara vikarahitopi bahuda bhavati. You would add that verb there, bhavati. Ekavaya Atma bahuda bhavati. One Atma alone as though becomes many, even though inherently it is changeless, and still it as though becomes many. Vibhavimana, it appears as many. How? Jalarkavat. Like the sun appears as many because of being reflected in the pools of water. Yatha eka eva arkaha jalabhedopadishu anekada vibhavimanopi. Just as one sun, even though appearing in many containers of water, and therefore, even though appearing as many anekada vibhavimanopi, Nana eko, so na aneko bhavati, does not become many. The sun, even though appearing to be many, does not become many. So Atma, appearing to be many, does not become many. Nava jalopadi vikarana vikriyate, not only doesn't become many, but doesn't shake also, doesn't become dirty also. So even though the reflection of sun appears to be moving, appears to be dull, sun does not become so. So Atma also appears tamasic and rajasic and all kinds of stuff appears, doesn't become. All of that is in the reflecting medium called Upadi. Atha ayam apityartha. So the whole prakriya is explained of how one Maya Bijam undergoes transformation, creates the appearance transformation in Atma. So how we have to differentiate between what is real and what is apparent. For that, this whole discussion is given. We will continue. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Murtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.